Hello again and welcome to Broadcast Show. I'm here again with Mike Leach from Workstation Specialists. Hi Mike. Today we're going to talk about graphics cards. We've covered CPU and we've covered memory. And today it's all graphics. Tell us a bit about graphics cards.
Graphics card, or GPU, is probably the better name.
Yep.
Obviously it displays the graphics on the screen. Yep. But obviously with recent enhancements in software, Adobe Premiere is one of them. Is the ability to use the GPU or graphics card for co-computing tasks. So typically graphics cards are used to display two screens, so you can run two screens off the same workstation, maybe 3, 4, 5 or more. But what we're looking at today is the speed of the graphics card to help you in your workflow.
Gotcha.
So NVIDIA and their recent launch of graphics cards, they have a CUDA programming engine or CUDA GPU cores. So a graphics card has credentials, just like a CPU we mentioned previously, was the ability to have a GPU clock speed, a number of GPU cores, and then GPU memory, and then the speed of that memory. Typically the higher of all four of those, the better. As you go up the range of graphics cards up to high-end, ultra-high-end, you get sort of the performance credentials that obviously warrant that flag. Now, with GPU, we've got some great demos here based on the Mercury playback engine within CS6 that uses the graphics card to help load your video effects. So you can play back in real time without having the need to sort of re-render and pre-render everything that you do. And basically just to show you why a high-end graphics card shouldn't be missed off your shopping list, I suppose.
And just to say, I mean, it used to be that this sort of side of things was always covered by the CPU.
Yes.
But now, more recently, with these new cards.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it doesn't get away from the fact that you still need a powerful CPU, but what used to, it's a different way of working, or a more efficient way of working might be the better way to put it. So this is where we're offloading what's really usable on the GPU onto the GPU. So your CPU is then freed up to do other tasks. And
that's fairly recent. I mean, I used to remember it used to be the only time you ever think about your graphics cards if you're going to play some kind of game. But now those cards, the GPU is now
NVIDIA's engine for the Mercury playback is probably from CS 5.5 onwards. I know it's a big thing. It really, really speeds up the workflow, especially on the NLE timeline. So.
So again, we have two machines here.
Yeah, so these are the same two machines that we used previously weeks for the CPU. This machine on the right has a mid-range 1 GB graphics card. Typically what you probably would have spec'd probably 2-3 years ago to be a mid-range card for your workflow. And this one has just a standard high-end card. So not ultra high-end, this is just a standard high-end card. This is based on the NVIDIA Quadro 2000. And this one is based on the high-end NVIDIA Quadro 4000. Both have NVIDIA CUDA cores. This has 192, this has 256. So not a massive difference. But this has just 1 GB of frame buffer, 1 gig of memory, and this has 2 GB. And the memory is nearly 3 times as fast on the high-end card as on the mid-range card.
Gotcha.
So typically see, once you've loaded up, say, two identical, obviously, scene files, loaded up with plenty of video effects, obviously planning this around the timeline, this is quite impressive because obviously it's being rendered in real time.
I'll just say we have loaded these up with a stack load of effects that you would not normally.
Not normally, but I say this is just to show it can be done. Obviously, yellow line, this is all being sort of accelerated on the graphics card, but typically with a mid-range card, as you can see, it's dropping frames. It's just a bit beyond obviously acceptable, but it can still do it on the graphics card. Same number of visual effects on the high-end cards, and I said this is with 2 GB of memory and a much faster graphics card, and essentially it's it's completely different. It's lightning fast.
It's completely fluid, isn't it?
No drop frames. No drop frames at all. And that's simply just by using a high-end card. And that's the Quadro 4000. If we put in a higher-end card, or you worked with bigger video, more layers, more effects, then you can use something called NVIDIA's Maximus technology, which runs a secondary GPU purely to handle those Mercury playback tasks.
So you're not restricted to one card in your machine. We can add
and typically because the graphics card is designed typically just to display graphics, you can get away with an entry-level graphics card and a separate NVIDIA Tesla, which is just a GPU, which can do all your computing tasks. So you could spend £3,000, £4,000, even £5,000 on a very, very high-end graphics card. But essentially it's all kind of wasted because the graphics card is having to do video and encoding, video, GPU. So by having a dedicated graphics card and a dedicated compute engine, such as the Tesla, it allows you to split that up. So multi-card workflows is the way forward, really.
Excellent. And so, I mean, obviously now when it comes to speccing up machines specifically for video, it's important to get the right card.
Graphics card before used to be kind of overlooked as just something that displayed graphics. Now it's used so much more, and I say Adobe Premiere especially, but lots of other programs are coming on board as well, is using that GPU as a co-processor.
Gotcha. Mike, thank you. If people got some questions, obviously they can
tweet us.
Yeah. So which is
at W Specialists.
At W Specialists. Go and have a look at the website for Workstation Specialists to find out a bit more information about what they can do. And again, if you want to ask questions of Mike or any of the guys at Workstation Specialists, you can get them on Twitter. At Workstation Specialists, at W Specialists, at W Specialists, which is down below. And you can keep track of everything that we're doing at broadcastshow.com/live. I believe we're going to be talking storage next time.
Yes, storage next week.
Storage next week. So keep track of that and keep track of everything that we're doing at our website. And make sure you subscribe to the feed so you can see the next instalment here with Mike from Workstation Specialists.